we're ready to fetch the data and see what we're working with. I'll create a new file under source and call this file ajax.js. And this is the file where we're going to do all the Ajax requests that are to be used by the app. So we'll export a default object here that is our API. And in this default object, we'll define functions responsible for fetching different types of data. So let's define the first function. We're interested in fetching the initial deals. So I'm going to call this function fetchInitialDeals. In this function, we want to do an Ajax request to the BakeSale API. We can use the fetch library to do that. The fetch library comes built in React Native, so we don't need to import anything. And you can see the documentation for the fetch API under the React Native website. So you do fetch. The default method is get, but you can change it if you need to. And once you have the initial response, you can convert the initial response to JSON, and then you can use that JSON object returned from the server. So I'm going to copy this example and use it in here, exactly as is, except our API is going to be different. And I'll just return the response JSON itself in here. So our API is from BakeSale. So I'm going to define a constant here, call this constant API host. This will be HTTPS bakesaleforgood.com. And in here, I'll use this variable. So I'll go with like API host plus /API/deals. This is the endpoint that we're interested in. Let's go ahead and test that. In app.js, we can use a component didMount call. And in here, we can use the fetchInitialDeals function right away, just like that. Remember that this is an async function, so we have to await on that in here. And this will give me back the list of deals. So I'll put it in a constant, just like that. Since we used await, that means we have to make component didMount itself async. And for now, let's just console log the list of deals. Of course, I need the fetchInitialDeals function. So I'll import that from up one level Ajax. Let's go ahead and test that. I forgot to make this fetchInitialDeal async as well. So that's required. I also did not make these named exports. So we need to import Ajax itself and call ajax.fetchInitialDeals. Seems like that worked. Let's check the debugger, debug.js remotely. And if you notice here, I have an array of 9 items. You will probably have more items than that because this is a live API. These items are objects that represent the deals. Every deal has a title, a price, which is in cents, a list of media files, a key, and a cause. So we can now use this data to render a list of deals. To do that, we'll place the deals on the state of the app component. So let's introduce a state here. This state will hold the deals array, and it will start as an empty array. And when we have the deals, we'll just set the state to account for those deals that just came from the API. So deals, just like that. And now we can use the list of deals in here. So let's introduce a new component to represent the list of deals. We'll call it deal list. So create a new file under component, call that deal list.js. This is a regular class component, so deal list. And I'll bring in view and text and style sheet. This probably should be in my snippet. And I'll create a view in here. And I'll use a placeholder text as well for now. Do something like that, deals. Now in app.js, I'd like to render this deals list component. So I'll have to import that. So import deal list from same level deal list. So to render the deal list, it's as simple as deal list, and we'll give it the list of deals from here because they are hosted on the state of the app component. So this .state.deals, However, I only want to render the deal list when I have a list of deals. I'd like to keep this text while I'm loading the deals. So let's have a conditional here and do something like if I have deals, so if this.state.deals.length is greater than 0, we'll go ahead and render the deal list. Otherwise, we'll just render the text. Just like that. Let me format. And let's test. So the bake sale header should flash, and then I should have the deals right here. Of course, we're not rendering the deals yet. We'll do that in the next video.